Welcome into your practice on the platform of Studio B. My name is Jyothi Bainey, and we are going to continue our work with these sacred shapes with Natarajasana today. As I prepare to lay the foundations for this all levels flow practice, let's make our way into a comfortable seated position for just a couple of minutes of meditation and really opening up our ears to our sense of sound as we lay the foundations of this practice. So coming into that comfortable seat, beginning to close the eyes, letting the hands rest on the lap or on the knees. And we're going to begin with the awareness of language. And so recognizing that the word Nata in Sanskrit means dancer, and Raja means royal or king, making Natarajasana the king dancer pose. Natarajasana is a representation of the deity Shiva, and it specifically captures the essence of the dance of the universe. The universe is always fluctuating and changing, moving through destruction, creation, darkness, light, life, death. And so to be human is to experience these fluctuations and changes. As a physical shape, Natarajasana invites us to embody the challenge of finding balance amidst chaos. It's a balancing pose, a back bend, a chest opener, and a quadricep stretch. And when we practice this asana, or one of its many variations, it's likely that we will experience wobbling, uncertainty, and a constant need to recalibrate to what is present in the moment. And in this way, Natarajasana teaches us that the dynamism of life requires us to be fully attentive, and it reminds us that the very foundation of life is fluctuation and change. So take about 2, maybe 3 more breaths, just letting these foundations of Natarajasana settle into the body and into the mind. And then let's let the eyelids open up, and we're going to move straight away into a physical practice. We're going to start standing today at the front of the mat. So go ahead and find your feet, make your way to the front of your mat. And we'll come into some sun salutations, starting with half salutations. Inhale, sweep those arms out and up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. Arms are like field goal posts today, waking up the posterior chain. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Sweep the arms out and up. And bring the palms together. So starting to feel that dancing element, that cosmic dance. Sweep the arms out and up. 2 more half salutations. Exhale, fold. Lift up halfway, field goal arms. Dancing in your own special way, fold. Sweep the arms out and up. Your pose doesn't have to look like anybody else's pose. This is your dance. You finding your balance amidst chaos. Arms out and up. You learning to be in relationship with fluctuation and change. Lift up halfway, field goal pose. And fold. Sweep it out and up. And bring the palms together, moving into the first of 4 sun salutations. Inhale, lengthen those arms. Exhale, palms together, 1. Inhale, forward, up, and back is 2. Hinging and folding is 3. Step the left foot back, left knee down. Coming into chest expansion, either hands on the low back, inner elbows together, or interlace the fingers. Straightening the elbows, leaning back for 2. So Natarajasana is going to require some chest opening. So we're starting to cultivate that here. Release the hands down, downward facing dog is 5. Lowering knees, chest, and chin is 6. Treating these sun salutations like a dance, cobra 7. Downward facing dog is 8. Left foot forward, right knee down is 9. Finding your version of chest expansion, either hands on low back, inner elbows together, or interlacing the fingers, elbows straighten. So I'm calling Natarajasana the cosmic dance pose, teaching us how to be in relationship with fluctuation and change. Hands down, step the right foot forward, fold. Arms sweeping out, up and back is 11. Seal it out as 12. Keep it flowing and moving. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, bring it in for 1. Inhale, forward, up and back is 2. Hinging and folding is 3. Right foot back, right knee down. Inhale, arms reach up, just 1 breath here. Exhale, hands come down, sweep the left leg back and extend that table. Staying here is an optional, reach the right arm forward. Maybe Utthita Dhanurasana, bend the back knee, sweep around, find the foot. Lift the toes to the ceiling, press the earth away through the left palm. Being willing to change, responding to the needs of the moment, and then re-extend that table. Listen carefully, right palm down, tuck the right toes, lift up 3-legged dog. Shift forward, 3-legged plank. Maybe chaturanga with the leg lifted. Now lower, upward facing, downward facing. Left foot forward, right knee down. Sweep those arms up, big inhale. Exhale, hands down, left foot back. Switching sides, lower the knee, right leg back. Left arm reaches up. Find that balance in your tabletop. Bend the right knee, sweep the left arm around, find the foot. Utthita Dhanurasana, press the foot into the hand. Nice full inhale. Exhale, releasing, re-extending. Left hand down, left toes tuck, 3-legged dog. Moving through that vinyasa, perhaps 3-legged, and lower. Upward facing, downward facing. As you inhale, lift the head, look forward, walking, stepping, or floating the feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Circle, sweep the arms. And bringing the palms together. 2 more sun salutations. Inhale. Exhale. Treating these salutations like a dance. Forward, up, and back. Connecting posture to posture. Breath to movement. Take that left foot back, left knee down. Walk the hands up the right thigh. So we're going to create the shape of Natarajasana in our lunge. So lift the back foot, find the top of the foot, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, and take a couple breaths. So we're building the intelligence of Natarajasana right here in our lunge. Notice how much you're having to respond to the fluctuation and changes of the moment. 1 more inhale. Windmill the arms down, step it back, downward facing dog. Listen carefully here, 3 vinyasas. Inhale to the balls of the feet, bend the knees like a ball at the back of your mat. Shoot through to chaturanga. Inhale, keep the toes tucked upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. 2 more times just like that. Inhale, up into the ball of the back. Shoot it forward, chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. 1 more time. Inhale, squat. Exhale, shoot. Inhale, up. Exhale, back. Left foot forward. Right knee down. Hands onto that left thigh. Finding your balance amidst the chaos. And then moving into that fluctuation, that transition as we find Natarajasana in our Anjaneyasana pose. Now I tend to open up my chest here. So I'm going to take the left side of my rib cage, melt it back. Right side of the rib cage, gently draw it forward. One more inhale. Exhale, windmill the arms, step the right foot forward to meet the left and fold. Reaching forward, up and back is 11. Palms of the hands together is 12. Last sun salutation, inhale, lengthen those arms. Exhale, palms together. Inhale, forward, up and back. Exhale, folding. Stepping right foot back, right knee down. Walk the hands up to the left thigh. Different variation here. Start to push down through the left foot, straighten the left leg. Super glue the sole of the left foot onto the surface of your mat. Circle sweep the arms out and up. Working with that chest expansion, maybe you bring the right hand to the low back, lift the sternum and the heart. Maybe you bring the right hand to the right heel. Let the left side of the torso melt back. Drop the head and breathe. 3, 2. Windmill it up. Step it back, downward facing. Traditional Vinyasa, forward to plank. Chaturanga. Upward. Downward. Right foot forward, left knee down. Hands up on the right thigh. Push the floor away, straighten the right leg. Super glue the surface of the right foot on the mat. Circle sweep those arms out and up. Option 1, left hand to the low back. Lift the sternum and the heart, creating a little back bend in the upper spine. Option 2, left hand to heel. And then lean back. This is just taking Natarajasana, flipping it on its side. One more full breath. Windmill it out. Step it forward. Recognizing that change is the only certainty, so we might as well learn how to dance through it. Lengthen the arms, stand for a moment. Opening the eyes, I'm just going to shift to the middle of my mat. We're going to prepare to work with full Natarajasana at this point. So standing in the middle of your mat, finding something in front of you that's not going to move, where you can focus your gaze. And then shifting the weight onto the right foot, bending your left knee, and reaching back with your left hand. Take the inner knees towards each other, and then notice the bowl of the pelvis. We don't want it tilted forward. Lift the front rim of the pelvis. Find some equanimity there. Reach the right arm up. Focus your drishti and gaze. And then start to push the left foot into the hand, growing and opening that pose. And as we breathe here, we're noticing how the standing leg is doing all of this fluctuation and change in the present moment. And so this pose is really teaching us how to respond to what's here. And then with control, coming out. Take a moment to just stand on 2 feet. Maybe just take a breath of gratitude here. And then I'm going to turn around so you can see the other side. We'll shift to the second side. So the weight slides a little bit to the left foot. Right knee bends. Find the top of the right foot. Inner knees towards each other. Lifting the front rim of the pelvis. Reach the left arm to the ceiling. And then as you feel stable and balanced, start to push the right foot into the hand. And even though the body is really structured, there's movement in the breath. Maybe noticing thoughts moving in and out of the mind. And then controlling, coming out, releasing, and taking a breath. Coming onto the back as we transition into the back bending portion of the practice. Bending the knees, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat. And let's find resting pose for a moment. So widen the feet the width of the mat. Let the inner knees come together. Maybe rest the hands on the lower belly. This is a really nice time to just bring some awareness to the fluctuation of the pacing of the breath. Maybe we want to kind of nourish our awareness of the exhale so that we work to elongate and ease, soften the experience of the breath in the body. Recognizing that as hard as we work in this practice, it's equally important to create moments for mindful rest. And we're going to shift into some back bending shapes, beginning with bridge pose. So let's bring the feet about hip distance apart. If you have any knee sensitivity, you might experiment with widening the feet or even turning them out slightly, which is what I tend to do here. I've had a couple of knee surgeries. Bring the palms down alongside the body. Take a full inhale. So always cultivating curiosity, pushing to the feet and rise up into your bridge pose. And then we still want to keep building that expansion across the upper chest. So either holding onto the outer edges of your mat and pulling them apart, or roll the shoulders onto the back and interlace the fingers behind the back to lift the chest towards the chin. And again, find that sort of expansive quality across the upper chest and collarbones. And then as we come out, let's release the bind if you have it. You might need to untuck the shoulders and roll back down onto your mat. Resist any temptation to bring the knees in towards the body. Instead, just lengthen the legs and take about 2 breaths in Shavasana. And then we're going to take our back bending work and flip onto our bellies. So flip the body like a pancake, over onto the abdomen. And then extend the arms forward. Bend your left knee and reach back with your left hand, finding the top of the foot. We're going to do a hybrid pose, half Natarajasana on one side, half downward facing boat on the other. As you inhale, lift the entire body up, both legs up, pushing the left foot into the left hand, and take a few breaths here. And so the mind might be a little bit confused by this. You might find this really difficult. And take the right arm out like a half field goal arm. Roll over the right side of the body. Keep holding the left foot. And you're finding an inner pec stretch in the right shoulder. And also cultivating Parsvadhanurasana on the left side of the body. Couple breaths here. And then coming back to the body, to the belly. Release and take a couple breaths to rest. And then we'll switch sides, reaching the arms forward. Bend the right knee, right hand back to find the foot. Lift everything up on the inhale, rise. And you know, dance. And again, Natarajasana is the cosmic dance pose, but dance has been a part of the human expression in every culture, in every religion across time. Take that left arm out, field goal post, roll over the left side of the body, find that pec stretch and that little half Parsvadhanurasana. And humans dance to express, the dynamism of life, to embody the cycles of nature, of life and death. And so this dancing quality is in all of us. Come back, inhale, lift up. Exhale, let go. And so as we engage with the cosmic dance of fluctuation and change, we really find connection with everyone, the people practicing online, this class with you right now, people from past, present, and future. Final back bending pose, bend the knees. Full Dhanurasana, reach back, find the tops of the feet, maybe flex the feet, which is what I like to do. And then as you inhale, lift it all up. Find your breath. Remember, it's not about how big you can make the pose, but what's sustainable in the body. What is a shape that you can put the body in and be both structured and moving? Where there can be effort and ease coexisting together. And then let that all go. Release the feet. Bring the palms underneath you. Shift back to a really nourishing child's pose. Hips to heels. It should feel really nice on the low back. Kind of like a love letter to the spine here, this pose. Thank you for letting me do all of that beautiful back bending. I appreciate you, spine. And then lifting up, we're going to come into some forward folding work. And we're actually going to start with a version of Paschimottanasana. So let's bring the legs out in front of us, but have them deeply bent, because I want to create a relationship between the abdomen and the thighs. So go ahead and take the abdomen, connect it to the thighs, and reach forward. Depending on the length of your arms, you'll either find the ankles or the feet. And then as you inhale, lengthen the spine, sliding it along the thighs. And then from this position, without sacrificing that connection of belly to thighs, walk the seat back about halfway to your fullest expression. And pause there. Again, lengthen the spine on the inhale. And exhale, soften. And we're really coming into a more contemplative stage of the practice. So you're welcome to close the eyes if that feels safe and secure. And then sometime over the course of the next 2 to 3 breaths, you might walk the hips back a little bit more. But again, not sacrificing that connection. The intent is not to necessarily fully straighten the legs, but to really nurture the body as it's in this structured forward fold. But really feeling the movement, the vitality through the breath. Just a couple more breaths here. Start to lift the head and the heart. Rising up. And just a couple more shapes to close out the practice. I'd like to move into half saddle. We've done a lot of work today opening up the front of the thigh and the front compartment of the hip. But if this isn't a safe shape in the body, then come into a tree shape or a half butterfly shape here with the leg. We are going to move backwards here. So taking the hands behind you, and coming backwards could just mean leaning on the arms. It could mean coming onto the forearms. And then if you'd like to come all the way down, I would suggest you tuck the tailbone slightly and then go ahead and come all the way onto the back. Maybe bring the arms overhead. We'll take about 5 breaths here. And hopefully the body is feeling really receptive to a shape like this, as it's really kind of cumulatively built as we've worked with Natarajasana. And so maybe thinking back to a recent moment of change in your life, maybe that was a really small change, maybe it was very large. And just maybe thinking about what are your habitual responses to change or fluctuation. Let's start to sit the upper body up. And we'll move into Ardha Matsyendrasana A, lifting that left knee and crossing the left foot over the extended right leg. Hug it in, and then reach the left arm up and around, a really gentle twist here. And so as you engage in this sort of inquisitive practice, just making note of your own habits and responses. You might ask yourself, is my relationship with change, is it really serving me? Is it allowing me to live the kind of life I want to live? Or is there some work to be done there? Unwinding, and we're just going to do those two poses on the second side. So lengthen the left leg, and either finding half saddle or again that tree shape is another option. And then coming back to some degree, it could just be leaning back onto the hands, maybe kind of an in-between space on the forearms, or I would suggest tucking the tailbone as you make your way onto the full spine. Maybe just thinking, is there anything I could do in my life to make my experience with change more easeful? Maybe, how can I even take what I've practiced today of just being responsive to what is in the moment and apply that to my life? Start to make our way upright. And then final pose of the practice, right knee up, right foot across, Ardha Matsyendrasana A. And we've done so much work in the spine, this doesn't need to be an overly deep twist. This is just sort of reestablishing equanimity in the spine. And then coming forward and gently unwinding. So being mindful of the time, this is an approximately 30-minute practice. If you have the time to nourish yourself with a full Shavasana, I certainly encourage that. What I'm going to use these last couple of minutes for is a sort of guided meditation practice. You could do this in Shavasana and then just stay there as the recording ends. Or if this is really the time frame you're working with, maybe find a comfortable seat or a meditative position. Become aware of the posture in a way that's supportive. And then closing the eyes. And just recognizing that this shape of Natarajasana that we worked with today was really born out of a desire for liberation. This desire to be free from fear of change. And as we practice this balancing, back-bending pose, we really drew upon our ability to release fear and to stand firmly in the knowledge of our ability to just take life as it comes, one breath at a time, moment by moment. And some days we remain really steady in a pose like Natarajasana. And other days we find balance elusive. We fall down, we struggle. Just like life. But in noticing the ebb and the flow of life, the struggles and the accomplishments, we begin to release our fear and to discover freedom. Begin to bring the palms of the hands together as we prepare to seal this practice of sacred shapes. If you know this chant, you're welcome to join in with me. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be filled with peace and joy, love and light. And may that light of truth overcome all darkness. Victory to that light. Jai Shri Sakuru Maharaj Ki. Jai.